खिड़की झरोखे जो खोल दूंगी, धूप जो रूठी थी लौट आएगी, उजड़े ख्वाबों के धागों से सखी, नींदों के कोनों की होगी दूर पाई.
That's beautiful.
Hi, this is Tripti Dimri, and you're watching me on midday.com.
Hi, and joining us, we have an actor who's been receiving a lot of appreciation for her Qala. That's Tripti Dimri.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We are happy to have you, and you have been receiving a lot of appreciation for Qala.
It's been amazing the past couple of days, and the day the film released, me and Anvitaa were sitting together only reading all the comments on Twitter and Instagram, and we were both so happy. I have a picture of her reading one comment, and she went like this, which was so sweet. But it's been amazing. We've been getting a lot of love from people, and it always feels good. You know, you feel more motivated as an actor to do even better in your next when someone appreciates your work. So, yeah.
True. And it is a complex character. On one hand, you kind of feel bad for her, but what she does isn't right as well. So, what was your reaction when you heard of this role?
I actually got very scared. I told Anvita that I don't think I would be able to pull this off, and she, for some strange reason, was showing a lot of confidence in me. And then I was also scared because I was like, we've just done one film, Bulbul, together. What if my acting is the same here? And she told me that no, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different because this is a different person. So initially there was that nervousness, but I think it's important to pick stories that scare you a little.
Yeah,
Because that's where you get to really test yourself as an actor. That's where you get to learn so much, and that's exactly what happened. We immediately jumped into our workshops after that conversation. It's anyways interesting Anvita's process of which is building characters, building their world, and it was just so fascinating for me also as an actor because I was also trying to matlab, in knowing the character you get to know yourself too as a person. And when you do that for 3 months, just 3 months, you were just talking about her. What kind of a person she is? What's her relationship with her mom like? Is she um, is she someone who received love from her? Is she someone who did not? Is she someone who has a lot of friends, or is she a lonely child? Does she have imaginary friends or an imaginary mother? Which is something we discovered in the workshops only, that she's someone who would have an imaginary mother, and we kept something similar in the film also. There is a shot where she's putting things in a box. That is where her imaginary mother lives, and she's stealing things from her actual mother's room, like a lipstick or a perfume, so that she can smell her when she goes back to her room, and keep that thing as her memory, and then give it to her imaginary mother and share that moment of joy with her, so that it just feels very good.
Yeah, I mean, creating a character from scratch, I'm sure it's very exciting.
It is very exciting. You get to know so much about, as I said, yourself. You find out what are the things you're uncomfortable doing, and if there are things that you feel uncomfortable doing, then you ask yourself, why? Why am I feeling like that? That is a very interesting process, and I think when that happens now, when you talk about someone for so long, it's like having a best friend for 3 months, for 4 months, for as long as your film shoot is happening, and then it just becomes a part of you, and then you just get comfortable with it. And then when you're on set and when you have to do difficult scenes, there's no extra pressure because you already know this person, you already know how the person thinks or talks or behaves. So there's no pressure of scenes or lines on you. Then you're just focusing on the emotions that you have to pull out in each scene. Just makes the job easier.
Yeah. And like you said, you needed that confidence that Anvita had in you, but you were looking for it. And I think Qala is also somewhat looking for that confidence and appreciation. So that's an interesting mix, actually.
Very interesting, very very interesting. In fact, we also spoke about it. But it's again it's very tricky space to be in. I think in life we're always looking for validation from someone or the other. I think growing up, I was also looking for that validation from my parents, and I think this comes in from a very early age when you're growing up and you're being compared to your chachi ka ladka and ladki, and then as a kid, you don't. I'm sure parents don't do it to put you down. It's just a thing. It's become a thing. But when as a kid you're being compared, you don't know how to express what you feel. It just builds unhealthy competition, I think, in you, and growing up, and then you grow with that, right? And then you grow up, and then you start comparing yourself to others, and I think it's something that each one of us has faced. I've also been at a point where I was comparing myself to people, classmates, and this and that. But I think, after a point, you gotta stop and be like, this is me. There is only one of you.
True, that's absolutely true. And since you have had to start from scratch, you don't really come from the industry, and of course, your initial film, your debut film, didn't receive the kind of appreciation you would have liked.
Yes.
So, was that a point also where you felt that that validation, that need for validation or appreciation?
100%. There was, after Laila Majnu, I think for about 2 years, there was nothing. I was also, trying to figure out a lot of things, and then there were people around me who were giving me suggestions, saying that this is what I should be doing, or this is what I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And I was also confused because as an artist, I did not have confidence in me at that point in time, because Laila Majnu didn't get appreciation, but not as much as, say, Bulbul or
box office, basically.
Yeah. So I was also doubting myself at the time, that am I in the right profession, and how long what kind of time do I need to give to this? Because you're at that age where you want to earn also.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want to prove a point to your parents also. You want to be doing well. That was also a doubt in my head. But I think you have to go through it. There's no way out. The only way out is through. And you have to go through it, through the process. And while going through it, you start to understand yourself. And luckily, Bulbul then suddenly came my way. Luckily, that film happened. Luckily, I met Anvitaa, other people involved in the project who were all so good and so supportive, that today I can finally say that I have a family in Bombay. That if something goes wrong, I know that I have people I can fall back on. True. And that is such a wonderful thing to have.
That takes a lot of strength as well, pulling yourself out of that situation and making a success of yourself like you have done. So kudos to that, definitely.
Thank you. I do consider myself lucky, because a lot of the times I've been in the right place at the right time. So I thank my stars for it, and the people that I've encountered.
And having worked with Anvitaa before, do you look at her as a mentor?
I do. I definitely do, because it's not just that I've learned acting from her. I've learned a lot from her. Even after the workshops, her workshops are completely different. So there's so much to learn. And she's someone who knows everything about everything. Like, she just has a lot of knowledge. So when you're talking to her and when she's narrating a story to you, you kind of get sucked in that world, and it feels so special. And as a woman, I feel she's so strong, and she's been here in this industry for more than, I don't know how many years, a lot of years. So her experience also matters. And then there are times where I do something stupid, and then she comes and she's like, listen, I've made this mistake. I'm not going to let you make this mistake.
That's so sweet.
That is very sweet. And she is like my mother here. Like, I've always looked at her like that, and she's looked at me like her daughter. So that equation in itself is very special. And she's just always there. I know that if something happens, I can just give her a call at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. and she'll be there.
And as a modern girl yourself, getting yourself into that world, and you had to, of course, keep it real. So what was that process like?
So I did ask her initially that this from the 40s, do you want me to watch actresses from those times and try and be like them, walk like them, sit like them? She's like, no, you just focus on being this person, Qala. We have people on set who can do that. There's our production designer, there's our cinematographer. They'll make it happen. You'll be in your costumes. You will look the part. You will look like you're from that era. It's just you just need to focus on your character, and that's took a lot of pressure out of us. But it was so interesting because I always, she's someone who introduced me to these films like Bandhani, Arth, and I would watch these films and I would be like, oh, I wish I was an actor then.
Yeah.
And this was always there. And when I did Qala, I actually felt like I'm in that era.
Yeah.
So that way it just became very special.
And in real life, what was your connect with music like? Are you into singing?
In college, yes. Second year of college, I did join the music society, and we used to rehearse for 14 hours a day.
Okay.
just to perform in college fests. Then after that, acting became my love, and then I had to leave that part of life. But then I do enjoy music. I do enjoy singing. I'm not very good at it.
That's very modest, I'm sure, after practicing 14 hours.
That time, it's been so many years. Not so many years. I'm not so old, but it's been a good 5-6 years. But I do want to start practicing again.
So should we get you to sing?
Yes. मुझे पता था.
That's a good reaction.
खिड़की झरोखे जो खोल दूंगी, धूप जो रूठी थी लौट आएगी, उजड़े ख्वाबों के धागों से उसकी नींदों के कोनों की होगी दूर पाई.
That's beautiful. And finally, anything that you remember, any comments that you especially touched your heart, because you have been listening a lot on social media.
A lot of people actually message me saying that this is your best work to date, and that's just something that I want people to say after watching every film of mine, that this is, and not compare me to other actresses, and just say that you've outdone yourself, and that's the biggest compliment I think that you can get from anyone.
And on that note, where do we see you next?
You will see me soon. Next year there is one film that's coming out, but I can't, since it's not being announced here, I can't really talk much about it. Yeah. I'll be announcing it soon on my Instagram.
And looking forward to much more work from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.